Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Screen Rot Podcast, the podcast where we discuss the weirdest and worst content that's been rotting our screens and indeed our minds. Few shout-outs, if you don't mind. Massive shout-out to everyone who subscribes on Apple, on Spotify, especially everyone who subscribes on YouTube. A big shout-out to everyone on our Patreon, the $5.99 tier who get a free hat when they sign up and 2 extra episodes a month. The $3.99ers who are getting 2 extra episodes a month and they get priority to our live event tickets. Massive shout-out to Eugene who runs our Twitter. He might actually be God. And most importantly, a big wink and a kiss to the ladies who listen, who are some of the most gorgeous and indeed sexy ladies in the United Kingdom. I'm here with Jake Farrell.
There are actually increasing numbers of ladies actually signing up as well, which is good to see.
Yeah, it is good to see. It is good to see. There is a part of me... Now, is this all right? Look to the ceiling and consider.
Early doors.
Look to the ceiling. There is a part of me where I think this is all too rotten for a woman to watch. Now... That is not to remove agency from women. That's not to say they're not allowed to enjoy some dirty things in life.
Sure.
There are times when you and I are sat here defining cuckold and applying it to men like Bebo.
To TikTokers.
I wouldn't want my daughter watching this. You know, there's a rising crop of OnlyFans stars who really use social media.
Yes.
There's the Lily Phillips.
Right.
Who we've referenced on this podcast before.
She's not Bevo's girlfriend.
No. So Lily Phillips is a very posh girl,
right?
Who was involved in Soho Yacht Club.
Don't know what that is.
I think it's Soho Yacht Club. They're the guys who did that video around Notting Hill Carnival of like, Timmy, yeah, what are you doing? Are you going carny? Do you know which video?
I don't remember that. No.
Okay, well,
another week, another subject, another week.
Are you? I've just been throwing the pill around with Pigsy.
Oh,
you don't
God.
That
sounds real like asteroid hit the Earth
She's
stuff.
involved with them. She's also friends with HS Tiki Toki.
Okay,
who
we've talked about.
She went viral. How have we got into this? She went viral a couple of weeks ago because she slept with 100 men in a day.
In a day?
In a day. And
wow.
And
call me a prude, but that feels like a lot.
And she was like, I want to do 1,000
in a day.
And the really grim thing, I mean, the really grim thing is she made this like TikTok video. I think we should do a Patreon special where we talk about this.
Maybe not.
She did this video where, you know, she's got a bedroom set up as a set. And she's like, my name's Lily Phillips and I'm going to sleep with 100 men today. And here they all are. And she doesn't show their faces, but she kind of shows them all queued up in this queue. And then there's, I don't know.
There's queue?
There's a queue, yeah. There's a queue going down the corridor of this Airbnb that they've rented. And
oh, God.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people who commented on that being like, what would her parents think? And that's how I feel when I think about young women listening to this podcast.
We'd rather them have a queue than the queue around the Airbnb.
What their parents think. But there's Lily Phillips. She's an OnlyFans star who does content like that. Then there's another one, and I think it's real, but you can't actually tell.
Right.
And again, this does sound like I'm saying all this as a kind of like, I just watched this content to talk about on the podcast. So if you see any of this in my history on my laptop, don't
the Metropolitan Police. Yeah,
no, I'm doing research for the podcast.
Yeah.
There's another one. Her name's Bonnie, and she's again an OnlyFans star. But her kind of TikTok content, she kind of cues men up outside of a flat or a room or whatever she's got, and she's got the sort of vox pop mic,
right?
And she'll go, "Hi, what's your name?" And blurred face on the men. It'll be like, I'm Matt. And she'll go, how much would you love to spend 2 minutes with me? And he's like, yeah, right, that's what I'm here for. I've queued up. I've signed to the NDA. I'm really excited for that. And she goes, what would you do to me? And he's like, and it's so cringe. Because they're really horny, these men. They're like, let's just say I'll show you in the room. And then they disappear into a room together and then she does a kind of after interview.
Oh, right.
You know, it's quite funny because like Sky Sports are now saying they're going to do this kind of thing. That's a new thing. Sky are saying they want to do interviews with players, you know, at half time. So that's kind of what she's doing.
That's what she's doing.
But it is so grim, and she's had.
It feels like that kind of stuff's been quite normalised. Quite quick.
Yeah.
Again, I'm wary of sounding like a prude or like I don't know, but it's just because these kind of things are popping up in quite mainstream circles now as well, right?
Because what they've realised is that if they create this kind of shock content, they'll
Right.
go viral on Twitter.
Right.
Of people going, "Wow, this is disgusting."
Right.
That's the kind of like vocal quote tweet, right? But then also there'll be enough like men who are like, "Yeah, it's disgusting. How do I watch it? How do I watch the link? Where's the link?" But so they really reach for the kind of, they want to go viral. They want to shock as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because then more people will sign up to the content. And like this Bonnie girl who does the kind of, what would you do to me in 2 minutes?
Right.
There's been clips of that where she'll have like two mates who've travelled to wherever this is together.
Oh, the lads know each other.
They're pals who've stood up in a queue together. And what's so funny, there was one I watched the other day where there was two pals, and it was like, right, me first though, yeah. And what was so funny is it was like these two guys. They're dressed for a night out, right? In a way that only lads can, in a kind of like clean pair of River Island chinos and like a penguin polo top. And the best thing was they'd got themselves 2 Coronas for the queue. It's clearly the middle of the day. You and your mate have done like an away day to London to go and sleep with an OnlyFans star where she's going to interview you before and after for TikTok. God. And at some point you've gone, beer for the queue. Men are fucking class. Men dudes rock.
Dudes
man.
rock.
I mean,
also presumably like, obviously the face is blurred or whatever and the voice has changed, but like
the voice isn't changed.
Well,
the voice is not changed, and it's not blurred enough.
Be like, is that Craig?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I mean, and I mean, like again, I do have a sort of 10%. Is this real? We didn't know what we were going to talk about this.
No.
How long have we done? Talking about a family.
Do you reckon it is real? It feels too, like you say, it feels too specifically engineered. Like that scenario you said, to like shock people.
Try and shock and get quote tweets, because there've been some. I mean, there's one that's bad where she'll be like, "I noticed you're wearing a wedding ring. Are you married?" And he'll be like, "Yeah."
Oh, mate.
Face is blurred, right? And she's like,
mate.
"Yeah, I think so. Your girlfriend doesn't have Twitter, does she?"
Oh,
and he's
mate.
like, "No." And then afterwards he's like, I'd love to come and see you again.
Oh, mate, please.
The worst one.
This is like you were fucking trying to put me in a depression hole before we start the podcast. This is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Shall I say the worst one? I think I will. The worst one. Now, you don't see this.
Right.
There isn't a clip where you can see this happening. But she's on a podcast. I mean, it's fucking mad. Like, I think my life is mad because I do so many podcasts.
Right.
Like, OnlyFans girls are just like, "Oh, right, am I shagging today or am I podcasting? I think I'm podcasting." She has done a podcast. And again, I do feel like these things are somewhat manufactured, of like the amount of podcast clips that will go viral of people on the internet going, "God, OnlyFans girls are shameless nowadays."
Right.
But it's this girl called Bonnie again, and she's talking about how she queues men up for 2 minutes with her and interviews them before and after. And she's talking to this other girl who's interviewing her, and she goes, "Yeah, the maddest one was when there was a father and son in the queue."
Oh fuck, I've seen this clip. So yeah, and
you might have seen it because I put it on our Google Doc. If we do a Patreon about it,
right, maybe that was it. But she's on quite a famous podcast, isn't she?
Because I don't know what this fucking podcast.
I recognise the other person on the podcast is not like a sex or OnlyFans podcast.
No, I think
I've seen her interview like famous people.
Gonzalez and stuff like that. Yeah.
She's like a famous person, and so that was kind of. I remember. Yeah, I can't remember if someone had tweeted it being like, "What? When did it become normal for them to be?" It's like this. I think it's like a Spotify original as well. I might be wrong, but yeah, that was. That was what. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you were Spotify and you'd be like, "All right, who are you interviewing this week, love?" And it's like, "Yeah, we've got the woman who queues up." And doesn't she say it's like a father and son turn up together?
She said a father and son turn up together, and she was like, the son went first, the dad went after. And this is such a thing. This happens so often in this podcast. Like, I shouldn't know this.
No.
She says the son had a bigger penis, but the father was better in bed. And like you're watching this. And my Twitter timeline is quite interesting, right? Because as I've said before, I'm getting this shit, yeah. I'm also, and I'm frightened by this, but I am getting a lot of Tommy Robinson support stuff that I think is trying to goad me into engagement and arguing with it. But the thing is, what will be interesting, I'll see a clip like that, and then I'll see some like Tommy Robinson support being like, "Sharia law is coming," and I'm like, wouldn't mind it right now. If that would stop this, if like very harsh Islamic conservatism would stop this happening, I think the truth might be somewhere in the middle.
Between. Yeah, I'm not sure I want Sharia law, but I'm not sure.
I don't know if I want anyone's head cut off, but if I could stop viewing this,
yeah, I don't.
While I'm eating my fucking cornflakes in the morning.
But this is the thing. It's like I don't know. Maybe we are committing some kind of. Maybe we're not being sex positive enough. I don't know.
The thing is, I think she should be allowed to have as much sex as she wants, and I hope she can do it in a safe way. For God's sake, I hope she's testing these fucking men.
They must be, surely.
I don't know. Apparently, there was a podcast where she was like, "No, they just wear condoms." Like, oh, it's not enough. I don't want to know. And maybe it's an issue with Twitter. I don't know.
I think that's where you're right, is that the reason that this stuff is becoming present is because Twitter specifically that's what is the hook, is if you do something incredibly shocking, which in this case, maybe they aren't even doing it. Maybe they aren't having
I reckon it's bollocks, and I reckon we're the mugs. I reckon we're the mugs for sitting there getting outraged about it and committing 10 minutes of the start of a podcast
I wonder if you just also, do you know the worst possible thing of that is if
I know what you're going to say. If one of our listeners...
No.
Oh, okay, go on.
What?
Let's hear your worst case scenario and I'll tell you mine.
Okay, my worst case scenario is that I get home to my flat in East London and I start going up the stairs and then there's a queue of blokes on the stairs and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And then I go, Emma, why is there a queue of blokes outside? Is this something to... I know that...
Are there a load of tradesmen doing work in the building?
I know that Nick next door mentioned he was going to use Airbnb while he was away for a couple of weeks. What's going on in there? And she goes, oh, don't worry, love. They're all just queuing up to have sex with an OnlyFans star.
Do you know the comedian Julian Dean?
Yes, I do.
He's very funny man.
Yeah.
I recommend the two Vegan Idiots podcast, him and Carl Donnelly. The original thing of Lily Phillips being like, I'm sleeping with 100 men today. Here's all their feet outside the Airbnb
right.
where I'm going to shag them all. He quote tweeted that being like, this is my wife. I can't hear what she's saying because my AirPods are broken. Can someone please tell me what she's saying? My worst case scenario with us committing the intro to this podcast, I don't know how we've done this.
No.
My worst case scenario.
Do we want to do this?
My worst case scenario, and I'm worried that me saying this is going to tempt it into existence even more, is that we talk about this. Some dirty, curious rotter goes, what are they on about? Bonnie, Lily Phillips, her. Where's the OnlyFans link? And then we funded it!
Oh, right.
We've spread it. We've done it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, look, we've probably got some stuff...
It's their dream. I mean, also the fucking level of podcast inception. A content creator went on a podcast to talk about the content creates. Then two podcasters who do podcasts about content creation found the podcast about the content creation, spoke about it on their podcast, and now a load of horny rotters are buying their fucking OnlyFans. The world is broken. Bring on the asteroid.
Bring on the asteroid.
Come see me on tour. Subscribe to our Patreon if you want more of this bollocks.
Don't cancel us for being not sex positive enough.
I'm
for it. I'm against it. I don't care. I just don't want to know about this stuff anymore. It's making me feel so sad.
All the women can have all the sex
they
want.
They can do whatever they like.
Please don't tell us about it.
I just don't. It just doesn't make me feel happy imagining those poor Airbnb neighbours.
I just can't help but think about the off licence who sold the two lads the two Coronas and thought, are they off to a football match?
Yeah. You know, people post those pictures.
Didn't think there was a game on today.
People post those pictures and they're sat on the train and they've got all the beers on the train and they've got like Lily Phillips away. a train table full of Coronas.
I was going to say that they've got Peronis and posh M&S crisps and someone goes, must be Fulham fans.
Yeah. They got an England flag, like taped to the train window behind them. It's got the OnlyFans sign.
Oh my god, that is the most horrendous thing in the world. Lads in the queue with flags for like Luton Town.
They're all doing the Bosch sign.
Hatters are here.
She's one of our own.
Oh no.
She's one. It's becoming so normalised. We're not that far away from it.
It's my stag do next year, and I'm fucking terrified where my mates are taking me.
Oh, I guess it's fine. I'm for it. I'm against it. I'm whatever you want. I don't think it's bad to talk about it. I don't like talking about it. We're not laughing at them. We're laughing. Who cares? I don't know. I just want it all to be over. And I don't mean the podcast. I mean all of it. I want an asteroid to hit the Earth.
Lily Phillips away. That is the funniest thing we've said.
The subject of this podcast is so unrelated to this, but also so related to this.
It's children.
I'm not sure we can release this, can we? How long is this? 15 minutes. God, this is either going to be really well received or really not well received.
I'm going to be sick.
Do you reckon it even makes any sense? Come on, we've got to get on with this now.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not talking about. We're never going to speak about OnlyFans.
We're never going to speak about it again.
This is why we don't talk about female content creators, because we come up with things like Lily Phillips away.
Oh man,
I don't even know their names. This week, we're talking about Big AJ and what are they called?
This week we're talking about
the Rizzler,
AJ Bufumo and his son Big Justice and their friend the Rizzler. Boo!
Oi. Oi, get on this.
Yeah, with a bit of trepidation.
I've got to be careful because I keep getting their names wrong. I keep calling them AJ and the Justice. Big Justice and AJ.
Yes.
AJ and Big Justice.
The father-son combo.
The father-son kind of duo from America who do boom. They are... Now, we've sort of spoken about content that upsets us in the intro of this podcast. This has been one... So on our Patreon, we allow the top tier patrons to suggest people for us to talk about.
Yes.
What we often do is we'll sort of take all the people they suggest and we'll do a little poll and say who wants which one, and all the patrons vote on that. The $3.99ers as well, and we talk about who they. With this one, it was just suggested so many times.
Yeah.
Then they did a big TV appearance where we went, you know what, let's just fucking do it.
Yeah.
This is I try to censor myself from content like this in the same way I try and hide myself from videos of Lily Phillips and Bonnie, the OnlyFans, interviewing father-son duos before they sleep with them. Because I find children being... I was about to say the word forced to make content.
Yeah.
By law, children cannot actually give consent, so I think they are being forced.
Yeah, right. It's always difficult with child labour, I find, to know what, like you say. AJ's dad, he loves it.
The factory full of Chinese children loves sewing. They'd be
AJ
doing this anyway.
AJ, Big Justice and the Rizzler love doing videos that make their dad a lot of money.
Yeah, I find this really ugly. I don't want to lay into them too much because there's bits of it I do like, actually, right? There's bits of the kind of thing... I like them as guys. I actually think they're good. Right?
Yeah. Very positive.
Yeah, they're very positive. We'll get into it. I hate that they're kids, and the kind of thing I think I'm going to try and work to, and just kind of... what I want to get across with this episode, that boy, Big Justice.
Big Justice.
Insane name for a boy.
Amazing name. I was called Faz at school.
What, for short for Farrell? Jake Farrell.
And it wasn't really that often used. I always wanted a nickname. If I was wandering around my Catholic school and people were calling me Big Justice,
fucking hell. But here's the thing. What I was sort of getting to was like, I think it's ugly that he's coercing the kid into making content and using phrases like "do subscribe," stuff like that. I'm like, wow.
And we're not sure, like you say, it's really difficult to tell how much. They'll always say,
okay, yeah. So here's the thing, right? It's a big guy from Florida, although they speak in New Jersey accents. So
they are from New Jersey, but they live in Boca Raton in Florida.
That's it. Okay, so they're from New Jersey. They sound very Sopranos.
They do.
They live in Florida.
Yes.
It's a big guy dad who apparently this is like his 5th or 6th attempt at going
virality.
viral and becoming a content creator.
Oh dear.
And he's got the boy involved,
Oh boy.
his son. They also have just another boy involved now, which we'll get to later, which feels even weirder. I think it's ugly that the kid is in this. I think it's weird that the kid is in the content.
Yeah.
And I don't think... I think the boy knows way too much about the rigours of social media. And he's been completely corrupted.
And this is... in doing my research on AJ and Big Justice.
Yeah, which we do.
Which we do, by the way. If by that you mean reading one article on it. It made me feel I thought it was very old-fashioned. It's very old-fashioned, and it's a thing that we've talked about quite a lot over the course of this podcast, which is that previously the way that people like this would have been introduced into the national consciousness. I don't know if you remember someone. Do you remember Honey Boo Boo Child? Do you remember her?
Yeah.
It was like a super viral thing for a very short space of time. She was on a TV show that was about young beauty queens, and she became very famous. It was like a reality TV show about these kind of 9-10-year-old girls and their mums and dads who would put them into beauty pageants, and she was just one of the cast on there, but she went very viral. I couldn't really remember what she was about. I could just remember the name.
Was this a while ago?
It was like about 10 years ago. Yeah. But like at that time, it still required exploitative TV company X to come in and mediate between the audience and the subject and make them look bad or make them look silly.
Yeah, sure.
And make them go viral on some kind of hideous like Channel 5 reality TV show for about 6 months. What's interesting about AJ and Big Justice is they've done that to themselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I use this like literally every 3 weeks. I'll say this phrase. But it is the porn thing.
The porn thing.
There's no nasty producer behind camera
just the
coercing
audience.
the girl into doing something nasty. Lily Phillips is choosing to sleep with 100 men a day and show us their shoes.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, and
AJ and Big Justice are unmediated by Endemol or by the TV company.
Exactly. They're a slave to their own desire for higher numbers and higher revenues.
I didn't know that about the dad either, but it makes so much sense that it's like he's just kind of throwing enough TikToks at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Ross McCafferty's one of our patrons,
right.
Good friend of the podcast,
right.
and yeah, he's like, I've been obsessed with these guys for a while. The dad has had 5 or 6 goes at getting
doing
this big, and it's using the boy has done it.
Wow.
There's a couple of things. I want to start with some positives. There are things. Should we watch a video first?
Let's do that, because this is the video that made them go viral, and you'll recognise it. Feels like this is the speed of internet, the warp speed of internet culture. They're using a meme format that you'll remember, but already feels like it's 100 years old.
Yeah, I think this was only a couple of months ago.
It's not that long ago, but it already feels like it's 100 years old. So this is them.
Is this what blew them up?
This is what blew them up, and
wow.
interesting they blew them up. But this is AJ and Big Justice in Costco.
We're Costco guys. Of course we go shopping while eating a chicken bake.
We're Costco guys. Of course we had to try the new double chunk chocolate cookie.
We're Costco guys. Of course we have to try out the furniture.
Now this video is like almost 90 seconds long.
We're Costco
I think.
guys. Of course we work out with the tires.
We're
It's
Costco guys.
one of the most boring things I've ever seen, I think.
We're Costco guys.
The delivery is so
of course we look at every
strange.
TV in the place every time we come in.
The
We're
walk
Costco
away.
guys. Of course we get the sample even though we bought the thing the last 3 times we were here.
I guarantee you he said that line.
We're Costco guys. Of course we cool off in the milk fridge.
We're Costco guys. I'm still eating my chicken bake.
Oh, okay, Big
We're
Justice.
Costco guys. Of course we throw paper towels. We're Costco guys. Of course we need 13.5 pounds of meat.
Oh my god.
We're Costco guys. If these things are out, we're gonna throw them.
It never ends. It feels like it's never
We're
going to
Costco
end.
guys. Let's
Feels
see
like
how many
being in Costco.
squishmallows I can pick up at one time.
Right, I think that might do
That'll
us.
do.
So that's what's made them kind of spike and go viral.
Yeah.
And like you say, there's a really clear calculating thing there. They're following a meme format.
Yeah.
The chicken bacon, the double chunk cookie, that's stuck. That's still part of their catchphrases.
I can't even say double
Chunk cookie.
They love that.
And when I watched it, do you know what they really remind me of? Stavros Flatley.
Fuck yeah!
Do you remember Stavros Flatley?
Mate, that is the British equivalent.
Yeah.
That is the British equivalent.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Right, okay. Now, yes, bang on.
You've turned into Mike Porky Parry, you agree with that?
Right,
so
yeah,
much?
okay, yeah, sure. Yes. Bang on.
Right.
In a few ways.
Okay.
First of all, the performative father-son duo.
Yes.
I would say a lot sweeter with Stavros Flatley.
Yeah.
This feels very, very, very manufactured.
Yeah, very American.
Yeah, and as I say, there's one line where it's like, of course we get a sample even though we've eaten the thing 100 times. And it's like, I guarantee you he had to try 1,000,000 times to finish
Well, we're
going to
watch a video that shows that in a minute.
Here's the thing. There is an ugly behind camera of the dad coaching him to do the things. However, let me say some things about these guys guys that kind of applies to Stavros Flatley that I do like about them. Do you know there's that Drake meme? And it's from the Hotline Bling video.
Yes.
Where it's like, one thing it's like, oh.
Get away from me.
One thing it's...
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Bang on, A-OK.
So here's one thing I think about with those, and it's, a wider point, and it's a cultural thing, and I'm not sure if this is okay to say. I'm going to say it anyway.
Right. I love that.
What's the bad bit of the Drake meme? Can you do that? Americans.
Right.
Second generation immigrant Americans.
Right, I see what you mean.
For me?
Yeah.
For me?
Yeah.
Americans? Not
No,
really.
not really.
Second generation immigrant Americans, I fucking
love those guys.
And anything, by the way.
Yeah.
These guys, I assume Italian American.
They do have Italian heritage,
but
yes.
I like all of them.
Right.
Any kind of second generation migrant family in America or third, whatever it is, I love it.
Right, okay.
These are obviously New Jersey.
Moved
Italians.
down south, yeah.
So obviously the thing what I get when I look at these guys, I think Sopranos, right? When I watch, I think of AJ, the name.
The name's right there,
Tony
staring
and
in
AJ.
the face.
The irony is the difference in the way they behave. I can imagine. Do you know what I think of sometimes when I watch these guys? The dad's called AJ.
Mm-hmm.
If Sopranos wasn't made 20 years ago in the mid-noughties, if The Sopranos was made now in 2024, I could genuinely imagine a kind of like B-plot Sopranos storyline where AJ works for Tony. He's quite a good worker. He becomes a made man, and then Tony finds one of these videos on TikToks and finds him and fucking strangles him to death.
There is 100% likelihood that in The Sopranos, if The Sopranos were made today, AJ would be doing a video around the mansion and be going, "We're Italian Americans. Of course we eat gabagool."
Well, as in Tony's son. Yeah. And he go, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm making a TikTok, Dad. He's like, "What the fuck is a TikTok?" And then he go, "TikTok, fucking TikTok."
What's this fucking TikTok?
What the fuck is this guy? He became a made man last week. He's making fucking TikToks. Paulie Walnuts would do his fucking
Paulie would be fuming.
And they'd kill him.
Yeah, they'd have to off him. AJ, you're taking TikToks of a criminal fucking conspiracy.
What the fuck is a Big Justice? You can't call him Big Justice and pat him on the back for eating cookies. He needs to fucking lose weight. Taking the Prozac. That's what he'd do. That's what he would do.
I think that would happen nowadays. And AJ and Big Justice they've hit on this formula of like this kind of deadpan, well, not deadpan delivery, but like robotic delivery.
I think it's very Blue Peter.
Yeah.
I think do you know, it's funny. I did a it's a long story.
You're on Blue Peter?
Always the way I try and do a quick reference in to add something to tag something on, and here we go for 6 minutes. OnlyFans again, is it? No, I did. So I do voice work sometimes, right? And I did so there's a toy that kids can get nowadays called a Tony box. It's essentially a Bluetooth.
Oh, you don't have to tell me about Tony boxes.
Do you know what it is?
My nephew's got one and he loves it.
They're fucking great, man. It's kind of like podcasts for kids.
Yes.
You basically buy them this like big red. It's essentially a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
And you can buy them these figurines of like kind of like stories they would know or TV shows they would know. You can get Paw Patrol
Bluey.
ones, Bluey, Frozen, and you pop it on top of the speaker, and it will sort of sound out an episode.
Yes.
It would sort of tell a story in the voices and stuff like that. So I just auditioned to do a voice for the box itself.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Wow, that would have been amazing.
Well, I think I might be doing...
It's still in the mix.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
But what it basically, it meant I had to do performative kid speak. Right. I had to do, "Hey guys, today it's Tony's joke of the day. Today I'm going to be telling you a joke about spiders. The crazy thing about spiders, they are actually not insects. Do you know what they're called, guys? They're called arachnids." Right? I'm a decent voice actor. I do a lot of adverts. But like the funny thing is, I was in this like voice studio in Soho with this fucking, I don't mind saying, nutty producer.
Okay. Not going to get the job now, but
yeah, I'm just thinking that actually.
I got that.
Oh dear, no, I don't care. Yeah, she didn't work for. Yeah, she was mad,
right?
And she was really being like, "Can you give us more of a smile on that, Jacob?" And she was basically being like, "Be more Blue Peter, be more." And the thing is, anyone who's got kids will know, you don't actually talk to kids like that,
right?
And the more you do, like the whole, "Hey, Big Justice, you want to come get a cookie?" In reality, if you spoke to a kid like that, it really actually puts them off.
Right.
I've got a mate. I got one mate. I won't say who it is, but he when my kids were young, when they were like sort of 2, he would talk to them, and he thought that was the voice to talk to children. He'd be like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And he'd go for a hug, and they'd just be like, "What the fuck?"
Right. They can sense that something's off.
Whereas, do you know my mate Ollie?
Yes.
Now, bit of spectrum.
Right.
But Ollie doesn't do any of that.
No.
Ollie literally speaks to children the way he speaks to me, which is no eye contact, open with a fist bump. My kids love it. Rubbing his hands together, no eye contact, open with a fist bump. They fuck it. They respect
his authenticity.
I think they're really intrigued by what's going on. Why is that massive man behaving like we do?
Yeah, right.
But it's the thing is, what I'm getting at is the voice that they speak in. They Big Justice, boom. It's like. No one, kids don't want to talk like that.
Yeah, and it's funny that translates on TikTok in a way, because I guess it's like the strangeness of it is what people are reacting to. It's like we talked about, across the course of this episode in various ways. I guess it's the shock or the oddness of it that brings people in and then keeps them there. But this kind of
this is very different to the norm.
Right,
what's going on?
this American act is like very mad. But like you say, that doesn't come without a price, because we've then... did they put this video up? This is a behind the scenes of them making the video.
So in this video, they're doing another video in Costco. But I actually really like that they love Costco.
That's cool. I rate that.
That is also it's really interesting that you mentioned Stavros Flatley as a comparison. I use Costco sometimes. Costco is a very second generation migrant thing.
Right.
That sounds like a mad thing to say.
Okay.
But like, I know in America, it's a lot of like... Italian American families will use it.
Okay.
African American families use it. And even in the UK, there's a big one up in Edmonton.
Right.
And I only go because my mate Simon, who is like Edmonton native and Greek Cypriot family. Yeah. His family have just always had Costco cards. And it's like other people I know who are kind of like indigenous Londoners. Like the only people I know who've got Costco cards are like indigenous Londoners whose parents were born elsewhere,
right?
Or whose parents were born elsewhere. I do not know, and tell me if you know different to this. I do not know one home counties white guy whose family have a Costco card. Would you agree?
My
You've
auntie
got a job
does.
and you don't really want to spend.
No. My auntie does, but she lived. There was one in Bushy where she lived. So I think that was a product of it. I can definitely see that Costco is appealing to people that work hard and know the value of a pound note.
Yes,
which is oftentimes, like you say,
Greek Cypriot family.
They've come over. They've put the yards in for every single penny that they want, and they want to go up there and they want to buy a big tray of pastries.
Exactly. Yeah.
And why not?
Or like if you're going to buy bog roll, buy 200 rolls of bog roll. Fill up the shed with it. Get one when you need it. We'll see you
I respect that.
next year.
I respect that entirely, and I love Costco as a result, as do AJ and Big Justice. And I'm glad that like you say, I'm glad that they're putting forward Costco as a thing to be like. It's nice. Chicken bakes are nice.
Man. It's also a cool place to walk around.
Yeah.
Well, do you know? Can I just quickly say one thing? So, as we're talking about it, I'm sort of reliving that last video in my head. Is the dad's AJ?
The dad is AJ. The son is Big Justice.
He has a physique that I can only describe as American.
The dad does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hench,
but also kind of not
fat.
Yeah.
I can't
he's got,
tell
like,
what
massive
he is.
arms.
He's just big.
I actually
and they talk a lot about how much they like going to the gym.
Yeah, they do. I actually, and this is like this will never happen. I wouldn't mind looking like that. Feels very like dad. That feels very like
dad strong.
Proper dad strong to me.
Yeah,
I can't look like that. I got like Andrew Marr. I've got long arms. Long arms and a short body.
I don't think I could ever look like that. And I'm in no shape to criticise anyone's body, but like, it's even like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like, you know how Joe Rogan has got a 4-pack?
Yes.
But that's unbelievable when he's got a jumper on.
Yeah, it just doesn't look
do you know
quite
what I
right,
mean?
does it?
There's something like...
I think when you've got a thick neck, it just, like, it triggers something where
Neck's
you're like,
a big
oh,
bit,
is that guy fat or is he, like, built? It's difficult to tell.
Yeah, he's definitely strong.
Yeah.
But how's his heart? I think that's the thing with that American physique. It's like, I think you're... I suspect you're incredibly strong.
But how's your heart?
I think you're going to have heart problems really young, says the man who's currently waiting on some scan results for his heart.
Who's got an electro bong in his bag.
Not anymore. Cunts nicked it. But no, they didn't, and I'd have probably been more gutted if they nicked that than the laptop. Carry on.
But this I don't know. Like I say, if they published this video or if it was someone else that was there when they were filming.
So my suspicion. So in this video, they've got some guest. God knows who he is.
Yeah, some other TikToker.
I think he leaked this.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So this is a behind the scenes, and like given what we've just talked about, you only see the finished product in the first video, but this is a real like behind the curtain moment.
Action. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
No, we're here with Jay Kind of Funny.
Okay. Don't worry.
No, we're here with Jay Kind of Funny first.
Oh my God.
Smiling guy.
We're here with Jay Kind of Funny.
And this is boom. One at a time. Okay. We're here with Jay Kind of Funny, and this is boom. We're doing.
Oh no, the sun.
The chicken maker or the double chunk chocolate.
Ready? And action. We're here with Jay Kind of Funny.
And this is boom or doom.
The chicken bake.
Or the double chunk chocolate cookie.
I gotta go with the double chunk chocolate cookie.
No, you gotta taste it. You gotta take it.
Oh,
First taste the chicken bake.
Oh.
Then taste the double chunk chocolate cookie, and then give your answer.
Yeah, okay.
So AJ there, Dad AJ, is really directing traffic there, isn't he? And there's a point where he kind of admonishes the son. He doesn't do it very... He's not aggressive or he's not shouting at him.
Not at all. No,
but it does just give you the sense, even though he's not being aggressive and he's not shouting at him, it's just like, this kid should be playing with his mates.
Like my parental guilt is just you.
One hell of a drug.
I don't struggle with anything as much as I struggle with the guilt I feel sometimes about parenting, and I don't think I'm a bad parent. I think everyone gets things wrong sometimes.
Yeah.
But I watched that. The way he spoke to his son there is nothing wrong with that if that's his son, I don't know, behaving in a way that's somewhat unsafe next to a road.
Yes.
Right? If that's his son.
No, you can't cross there. You've got to cross at the Pelican Crossing.
Come on, mate. No, seriously, come on. It's fine if you're doing that in a way that, I don't know, you have to keep him safe if it's something to do with his schooling. If it's a fundamental of looking after your kid, then that there is nothing wrong with speaking to your child like that. I think if it's in the aid of creating content and hoping to go viral in a way that builds your TikTok following,
yes,
I think that's when that's an ugly way to speak to your kid. And it's like, here's the thing that I discovered about this family, because I was watching this, and the thing that I find really ugly with all of it, as I say, there's things I like, you know, New Jersey accents, Italian American family who appreciate a bit of a deal
Costco.
at Costco. Fuck yeah, you know, chicken bakes, nice, you know,
cookies,
big cookie, of course, you like all that, all good. The boom thing, it's kind of Christian. The boom thing,
yeah,
there's a real Christian energy to it, right?
Yeah, there's a wholesome energy to it.
Yeah, I sort of was watching, and I was like, I've got to be honest, I was watching it, and his son's got braces in some of them. And I was like, fuck, you know, there'll be times, and we'll watch something in a minute, the son uses words like, subscribe to get more content, or stuff like that, or uses words like, I don't know, things like subscribe, like real kind of like social media jargon that you would own, that I cringe when I have to say. Right. And I was like, God, that 14-year-old is as clued into social media as I am. Then I did some research, some reading. That boy's 11.
That is mad.
And that's when I was like, oh, that's a primary school kid.
Yeah.
And that's when it's fucked.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, this is actually fucked. So my daughter was in preschool, about to start primary school reception next year. Like, so I go to I drop my daughter off at my local primary school every single day. And it was only when I realised he's 11 and that's primary school age.
Right.
I was like, imagine if I went to the school my daughter goes to and I saw like a dad and a son doing this on the way in.
Right.
I'd raise it.
You'd be weirded out.
I wouldn't just I would seriously raise it as like an issue with people. I'd be like, no, that's not on. Like, I obviously have a thing where like I you know, social media is a big part of my job, and initially I was like, I don't want to put my kids on there at all, and then I was like, come on, behave yourself, Jake. You've got like, you know, 30,000 followers or whatever. Like, I don't think I need to worry too much. Do you know what I mean? It's not like fucking Brad Pitt trying to protect his kids. And so I will put pictures of my kids up sometimes, but I never want them to understand that it's a good thing if I get more likes or a bad thing if I get less.
They're integral to the engagement rate.
100, yeah, no way. And I like, you know, in terms of like kids, I think nowadays it's kind of just accepted that they are going to get on social media, and the kind of perceived wisdom is that, like, so long as you can keep them off of a phone and off of all that until secondary school, you've done all
well.
right. The fact that this kid is primary school age, they've been doing this for a while.
He's a social media
celebrity.
And
he's making the shit.
Yeah,
he's making the content. And as you can see by the urgency with which his dad is like, no, come on, AJ, get it right.
Yeah. It's a job. It's a proper, it's a serious endeavour that they're under.
It's fucked.
Yeah,
But it's like, it's fucked in the same way as, like, if the dad had the boy, I don't know, like working on site on a Saturday at 11, you'd be like, come on, mate.
Yeah.
I'd argue this is worse.
It's also, I think it is, because it's like, the part of it as well is like, I'm sure they've made a shitload of money out of brand deals and whatever.
What the fuck does that mean to the kid?
Well, if hopefully they've put it in some kind of trust for him, and
they should put it in a trust, because even things like, okay, we're super viral, made loads of money now, we can buy a better car. He shouldn't understand that.
No.
He shouldn't know that. They a kid that age, there should, and I know this isn't funny, by the way. There should be no understanding of there being rewards for content and engagement.
Yeah, right.
There should be no. That is so fucking dangerous. And do you know what I guarantee will happen with this boy? 18 years old, he won't have a social media account.
Yeah.
I pray and hope that that's what happens. That what will happen, and I don't doubt it'll be a rocky road with some unhappiness involved. But I hope that what happens with the boy is he'll get to an age and he'll go, "Fuck this." That's do you know Steve-O the Madman?
Yeah.
Very funny content creator who's on, like, he was big on Snapchat and he does like Filthy Fellas and stuff.
Yeah.
Really funny guy, but like he's been doing it for 10, maybe more than 10 years. So he's got children that have kind of grown up with it. And I remember, like, watching one of his videos a year or two ago where one of his kids, who's like a teenager now, like 16 or so, he was like, come on, you got to do your Twitter and Instagram thing. She was like, no, I don't want it, Dad. I decided not to. And I remember watching that and thinking, and Kevin's a mate of mine, but I remember watching it and thinking, I don't know if you should be encouraging her to get into this stuff. But I also remember thinking, God, that's cool that this girl who's like 16 has obviously watched her dad. And I as I say, I like Steve-O, Kevin. I like him and I respect him, and I think Filthy Fellas is one of the funniest things on YouTube. But like, she's probably seen her dad struggle being a slave to the algorithm for years, and has gone, wow, fuck this. And my only hope for Big Justice. What the fuck am I talking about? My only hope for Big Justice. Jesus
no, go on.
Christ.
This is heartfelt. This makes
it is heartfelt,
stick with it.
But I also think I've lost my mind. What the fuck am I talking about? My only hope for Big Justice. This is sobering.
Is that Costco bring out a steak bake named after him?
Izzy gets out.
Yeah. Well, also,
I don't know. What's your take? I'm struggling with this because I think that this podcast is at its best when it's really light-hearted, when we're really laughing, when we're finding joy in it, and even the stuff we dislike, we're having a real laugh taking it apart. And with this one, I'm just finding it ugly.
I do think that this is what I mean by being old-fashioned is like the idea of the child star that is exposed to fame and celebrity too young and then has a difficult life is a tale as old as time. It's a tale as old as celebrity itself. Yeah. And so the idea that you would seek that out for your child is insanity to me.
Do you know what's funny when you mention that Honey Boo Boo?
Yeah.
It's quite an American thing.
It's very American,
I feel like, and I don't doubt that there are like British parents who seek out stardom and fame for their kids.
There'll be people trying to copy AJ and Big Justice right now. British people.
Don't. I mean, it's so great. I guess our equivalent is the Lad Baby family.
Are there kids involved?
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, there's loads of them, man. And I mean, the best ones are the ones that fail. The ones that are like failing to make content with their kids. It's fucking.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. My view on it is like it's just it feels like the TikTok version of a really old story, and I'm really surprised in a way that people have just like let it carry on. I just can't believe that they would encourage it or allow it.
What can they do?
I guess they can't do anything.
What can they do?
But he had got mainstream acceptance. I don't think we're going to watch the video because it was too long. But like they've been on Jimmy Fallon and stuff now. The establishment is welcoming AJ and Big Justice.
Well, you say they're welcoming. The reason I was going to watch the Jimmy Fallon video, and I don't think we will, because as you say, it's just long and bleak and boring, and it's Jimmy Fallon clearly fucking hates them.
Yes,
Jimmy Fallon clearly has no.
Which is a bit fucking
them.
rich coming from Jimmy Fallon, who has had a succession of viral nothing stuff. stars on his terrible TV show.
This is not a man of integrity.
Yeah.
Who...
Where the fuck is he, Salvador Dali, to be like, oh, I can't. How dare they make me talk to AJ and Big Justice? I'm an artist.
Do you know what? Do you ever watch any of these American talk show hosts?
No, I watch clips of stuff every now and again. But like the mad thing is that I only realised, obviously it's called The Late Show. They're all called The Late Show, or even The Late Show. I think Corden was on after Fallon at one point. And I think Fallon goes on every night at like 11:30.
Every night?
Yeah. It's like 4 or 5 nights a week, every week. This is why they've got to have
It's like the fucking Paul O'Grady show. It's on every day.
Yeah, and it's on so late. And back in the day, that would be like people would go to bed after that show. People would stay up every night till like half midnight to watch fucking whoever it was. I guess it was Jay Leno when we were growing up and stuff.
It's one thing when you and I are like befuddled by the TikTok success of like a viral family. We don't understand Jimmy Fallon.
So there's this TV show, right? And it'd be on, they call it The Late Show, and it'd be on late at night.
Do you know, I'll tell you what, whenever I watch, like, I hear that, I watch some of the shite that fucking Corden does over there. Even like Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah,
is that another one?
Yeah, no, he's been going for ages, yeah.
See all of this shit.
So they just have to have a lot of content coming through the door.
Do you know what? It makes me so patriotic, genuinely, because I feel like ours stands up to theirs so well. I feel like that's one thing British television does. Saturday night, glossy floor talk show.
Big time.
Fuck yeah. Parkinson interviewing Muhammad Ali.
Wogan.
Wogan?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Was it Parkinson interviewing Muhammad Ali?
Parkinson did Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And Wogan did a whole load of stuff as well.
Graham Norton is unbelievable.
Yeah,
He is so good at his job. He can work a sofa of Idris Elba, Lolly Adifo, and fucking The Rock.
Yeah.
And he will make that work.
He'll make it sing.
And then like Jamie T sat on it. He will make that. That should not work.
We've got Tom Hiddleston in. We've got Malala Yousafzai.
Yeah.
And we've got someone out of Corrie that's going to do something for comic relief.
And
Ramsey's there.
I mean,
and you're about to have the best night of your life.
Yeah, I watched it when I was like a kind of teenager, and I'd sort of, you know, like when I say teenager, I mean like 13, 14. I'd stay up and watch
Wassy as well.
Yeah. I'd stay up and watch Wassy with my mum on a Saturday. I think that might be the happiest I've ever been on a Saturday night, and I've taken some chemicals in my time. I sat there, and I mean, what was great is when you'd get ones where like you were excited for Wassy because it's like, oh, Wassy's mates with them. You know, Ramsey and Wassy, they hit it off.
Noel Gallagher.
Hello, big boy. Fuck me. You've been eating well, haven't you? Huh? I'll try to get a seat. What's bloody with you now?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the soccer, Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, mate. I'm excited hearing you say it, 'cause I'd love to. I mean,
and then who would play him in? Who would play him in? This is remarkable. I don't know if there's young people watching this. Jonathan Ross was on at 10:35 on a Friday night every week on the BBC for about 15 years.
And it was so goated.
And it was so good. And the group of people that he would have, his house band, were 4 homosexual gentlemen.
Can we just say, it's insane that he had a house band. Like, that's mad.
Yes.
But he had a house band, and as you say, there were 4 homosexual gentlemen.
There were 4 homosexual gentlemen. By the way, Jimmy Fallon has The Roots as his house band. Wassy had 4 homosexual gentlemen who were lovely, and they played the piano and sang. And I don't even know if I'm allowed to use the word, so I'm going to say
no.
they were called.
Can I check that they're active? I think if they're active, you can use the word, and I think they are still active. You can say a band's name.
Well,
they're still going.
They called themselves this. I think it's really important to say that.
Yes, you can say that. Yes.
Well, I don't know if I. They called them. They still going? No, don't say it.
They're called 4 Puffs at a Piano.
How insane is that? That is mad to me that was just allowed to happen for the best part of 15 years. I mean, I think they had a great time on there. They were Wassy's compadres. They
started in 2000. They disbanded in 2012. However, due to renewed interest in the band, they have recently started performing again with successful shows at the Leadenhall Building in London for the Outward Bound Trust and also at the V&A for the HIMCTP Awards.
So somehow we've got from AJ and Big Justice to whether the 4 Puffs and a Piano are still going.
That was the best bit of British television. And it was. And do you know what was great? There were times, in the same way that Jimmy Fallon didn't like AJ and Big Justice and their other friend, who we're going to fucking get on to.
Going to get to now, yeah.
There was one so goated Wassy interview. He interviewed Lady Gaga.
Right.
When she was just becoming like a thing.
Yeah.
She came over
when she was doing the meat dress and stuff like that.
I think it was just before meat dress, but she was she was wearing something insane.
She often was
huge like sunglasses on, and she was dressed like a fucking like those like wind up sort of music boxes kids that she was dressed like a doll from that,
right.
And she sort of walked on
tottering
stage,
out.
could barely walk because the high heels were so high, and she had this weird porcelain teacup,
right.
And a tea and a saucer.
Right.
And she's promoting an album. And Wassy, my God, he's grafting. He's trying anything. And she just doesn't, she's like doing one word answers.
Right.
He's losing his mind.
Trying to get her going.
So the album, Miss Gaga, I've heard there's some good tracks on there. You want to tell us a bit about the album? She's like, it's a great album. And he's like, okay, you started in Los Angeles, was it? And he's doing his nut, and he just about manages to
salvage it.
I reckon they graft at the edit,
but
he doesn't quite tell her to fuck off.
Right.
He applauds her off. She's back to the green room where Hoosier are sat there going. And the best, I think the next week he had like a regular on. Say it was Gordon Ramsay. It was someone, or it might have been Gervais. Well, better than that. What they did is because this has clearly been a bit of a thing where he was seriously wound up by Gaga.
Right.
Let's say it was Gervais. It might have been Ramsay. I can't remember who it was. Whoever it was came on with a teacup and sauce.
Amazing. That's so good.
He came round the sofa, got it, and fucking smashed it on the floor.
Those were the days.
That is goated television.
That is incredible.
That is class. Back to it. Look.
For Lady Gaga and stuff as well, they're coming over in Fallon. Fallon is like in a huge TV show, or Leno or whatever. There's like a 10-piece house band there. There's like lights and smoke machines, whatever. They come over here. It's Jonathan Ross with an old antique sofa and a band called Four Puffs and a Piano.
I know.
No wonder she was like, what the fuck is going on here?
But think about what it'd be nowadays. If Lady Gaga released an album in 2024 and she had to do a sort of like press run in the UK, she'd have to do Chicken Shop Date with that fucking Amelia Doldenberg, daughter of millionaires who God knows what they've done with their money over the years. Sit there and eat.
She'd have to be on there. She'd be eating hot wings.
That Finn versus the internet thing where he took the piss out of her. Do you remember that?
How long ago was it?
A couple of years ago.
Okay.
I think he used it as a trailer for
he like clipped it as though he was on the show.
Yes,
that was very good.
At the end he goes, so what was it about chicken shops that made you think it was a good place to interview black people?
Fucking hell, I remember that now. Oh my God. Did that not get any traction? Did that not get any heat at the time? No,
I think when you roast someone that hard, they can't say anything.
It's tough.
But nowadays, if someone came to the UK and did a press run, it'd be that, and then they'd have to go and meet old Acaster and Gamble.
I can't wait for the days when Jada Pinkett Smith's coming on Screen Rock to talk about AJ and Big Justice.
So, Bevo, huh?
Well, let's get on to the next part.
Can I say with the next part?
Yes.
I've sat here in genuine, earnest disgust at the monetization and coaching of an 11-year-old being forced to make social content. So what did they do?
They went younger.
Do you know how old this kid is?
I think he's like 9, isn't he?
He's younger than that.
Is he actually? Ladies and gentlemen, if you've not heard about this person before, you are about to have a before and after moment. There is before your life and there is after your life.
I hate this.
When you have met the Rizzler.
It's AJ.
Big Justice and The Rizzler.
Just look at that face. And you don't want to miss our stream tomorrow night, Wednesday, September 11th.
Lots of Blue Peter kind of
only on Twitch.
Nodding,
Big
smiling.
Justice, what are we going to talk about?
Boom in the Wild.
We got Boom of the Week. We got Win the Meat. Rizzler, you going to try and win the meat?
Definitely. You're definitely going to win.
Hey, we're going to talk all about our time at AEW and what's coming up, right?
They're doing professional wrestling.
Maybe we'll talk some Pokemon. Hey, Rizzler, what if we bring in some of the best food anywhere and give it a boom or a doom?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Show them the Riz face again. There's going to be a lot of the Riz face. I mean, that's where it's showing up just for that, right? So don't forget, it's tomorrow
They're
night,
desperately
Wednesday,
begging
September
people
11th, 8 p.m. Eastern,
to watch
on
a
our
stream
Twitch channel. Big Justice,
that
where can they find the
child
Twitch
doing
channel?
the Riz.
The link in our bio.
That'll do for that. So they are begging people to watch a Twitch stream of them.
Right.
One thing I noticed at the end there, they say the Twitch stream will be happening tomorrow, September the 11th.
Yeah, I know.
I was just waiting for them to be like, this is our memorial Twitch stream for the people that died on 9/11. We'll be saying whether 9/11 was a boom or a doom.
You just imagine them like rewatching the footage and go, oh man, no boom.
Oh God.
Again?
And Rizzler, the Rizzler, if you don't know, Rizzler's doing the Riz face.
Oh my! Right, well, let's
he's
explain
doing
the fucking Rizzler.
A memorial.
What's the Rizzler?
The Rizzler is a little
Rizzler,
chap.
Well,
they went viral on TikTok for being, I think, a funny little boy, and then he started doing the Riz face. And
now, can you explain
the Riz face is basically...
I want to check I'm correct with this.
Yeah.
Riz, what Riz means, and this might just be a UK thing, but Riz kind of means chatting up women.
It does.
I'm terrified that the Riz face means that theoretically that thing that he does where he sort of wipes his face and pouts
and then
is him.
Does a shush as well.
Shush. Is that him chatting someone up? Is that what they mean when they say Riz face?
And it's kind of
you've
got to tread carefully here, but the joke is that because he's like 9 and he's kind of doing the Riz face, isn't it funny that like there's no possible way that he could actually Riz people up, but he is kind of like the Rizzler. He's got that aura about him, the Rizzler does. And I just, like, it's bad enough when I think you're kind of forcing your son, or maybe he likes it, to review steak bakes or whatever at Costco. When you're kind of joking, because it's like, oh, look, this kid isn't actually, this kid is like chatting up women, like you say, aged 8. That to me becomes very, very strange at that point. And the other thing to say about this is, and you would be forgiven for watching it, these people are not related to each other whatsoever.
No, the way they're stood in that shot
is like, these are my two sons.
Dad at the back, and the eldest boy has got his hands around the boy.
Yeah.
As if he's the mum or something.
Yeah.
As if he's like, this is our son, the Rizzler.
Yeah.
They're not related.
They're not related at all.
They're not related. Again, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's the other brother. And then there was someone online speculating that it's a cousin. They're not related whatsoever.
There's an incredible thing on Google as well, because I Googled that to try and work out.
Again, that's another, like, welcome the asteroid, please. When I'm Googling
how are the Riz. So if you Google it, the first question is the kind of auto
suggested question.
The suggested question is like, are Big Justice and the Rizzler related? The second question, when I Googled it, was, are Big Justice and the Rizzler brothers, or are they just gang? So I can confirm that the Rizzler and Big Justice, they are not brothers. They are just gang.
They are just gang.
And the next video is...
The third question is this bleaker than Bonnie, the OnlyFans girl?
Yeah. How hard would the asteroid need to hit Great Britain in order for us to all never think about this again? So we'll just watch a quick video showing this is how the Rizzler and AJ joined up, kind of Avengers style, to become...
This is how they sourced their Rizzler.
They sourced the Rizzler.
I saw a video of him, and I was like, Daddy, I want to meet this kid. And they were like, I love you guys. We've been watching you.
What? The minute Big Justice brought me the Rizzler,
he's calling his son Big Justice.
He was like,
I don't care
just because I'm Black Panther doesn't mean I have to go up a ladder.
So, reach out through the video. We call immediately. And it's like, it's
call
you guys.
immediately.
And we were like, it was like back and forth. Like, we were like, it's you guys. They're like, it's you guys. They're like, all right. We're going to be up in New Jersey in June. The first thing we're doing is coming to you.
When I'm like 19, I'm going to buy a house. And then Rizzler, when I'm 19, he'll be 17. So he'll be able to drive. And we'll both be in school still. And we'll have this house that we could stream at.
You got the vision.
Yeah.
Now...
You've got the vision.
What that put me in mind of is this is like a kind of content arranged marriage almost that they're having here. Where it's like... The parents are like ringing each other up. And it's very strange. I think the Rizzler's dad does content now as well. But like the dad...
In the same way an old Indian family would your daughter like to marry my son?
Yeah, I think, or just like back in the day, like you'd have families just reaching out to each other and being like, now it's like we would like the Rizzler the Rizzler and Big Justice to meet so that they can stream content together.
And the dream is that one day they will move into a house together so they can stream together.
Yeah, when they're 19 and then they're 17. I mean, I don't want to like rain on his parade. I'm not sure how much longevity Big Justice.
Yeah, real optimism that in 7 years' time
they're still famous.
I mean,
ask Jackie Weaver how she's doing.
That's a real. Are you going to tell the kid that Santa Claus isn't real?
Exactly,
are you going to tell the boy that he's probably not still going to be streaming in 8 years' time?
Dad, are we going to be making this much money from brand deals forever? Yes, son. Don't worry about it.
And the tooth fairy will come tonight.
Yeah. This us reviewing Costco stuff has got we're going to have a career as long as Madonna.
It's just like I don't want to be overly like dramatic. It's fucking noncy. It's weird. It's fucking. As soon as I get to New Jersey, I'm coming to see.
Yeah.
You're coming to do what? Meet my kid
Make
because you
TikToks
want
with
to
my
make
kid.
videos of your kid with my kid. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. I have to, as soon as I get to New Jersey, I have to meet you to make some videos of your kid with my kid to put it on the internet for strangers to watch. Listen to yourself. You sound like nonsense. It's so fucking weird. Stop monetizing your kids. I had a thing, yeah. I don't mind saying this. During lockdown, right, my little girl was born. Now, look, everyone thinks that their kid is gorgeous. I think my little girl. I hate after the back of what I just said. Like, I was doing like content and stuff like Joe. There was enough people that were like, okay, your kid could be in adverts,
right?
Fucking lockdown. We're skin. We're struggling. Okay, maybe my kid can be in adverts.
She's not pulling her weight. She's not doing world-class basics.
But what the fuck am I...
Yeah.
But you're right. What you're saying and what you're implying, your kid's not working hard enough. Exactly. Enough fucking people that I was working with at the time were like, yeah, your daughter could sell nappies. And I was like, yeah, okay, what do I do? You got to get her an agent, man. Get your kid an agent. Okay. They sent me the link, and I don't even want to say, but I think it was like this agency called like Pretty Little Darling.
Oh, fucking hell.
Seriously. It was called like Pretty Little Darlings or like Pretty Little Angels or something like that. And you would think there would be a level of safeguarding of like, phone this number, you can come to an office and you can see the clients we represent. There was fuck all of that. There was literally, you click on a link and open a PDF file of the Pretty Little Darlings, who were as young as my daughter was at the time, as young as 1 or 2, full fucking 200 images of all the Pretty Little Darlings they represent, dressed to the nines in professional photographs. What the fuck is going on?
What, so you could select your Pretty Little Darling to advertise your nappies?
The idea is if you're like, I don't know, you're a creative agency working on behalf of Pampers who needs a Pretty Little Darling to advertise nappies.
There's headshots, there's baby headshots.
You could shop for one. You could shop for the prettiest little darling that Pretty Little Darlings represents, and you could choose a boy or a girl to sell nappies. Or maybe that's not who you are. Or maybe you're someone else with different intentions, looking on this fucking website.
Maybe you're a paedophile opening the PDF file.
Right. And so I was like, fuck this. We're not doing it. We're not doing...
No.
I'll tell you something from my childhood.
Go on.
And I wasn't a pretty little darling. Here's what my childhood was like, by the way. And I've had... It's funny that this has come up now. So I had a thing where I did a gig in Birmingham, and it's a gig that, it's like a chain comedy club where loads of comedians go around and do this comedy club. And I was talking to the regular host there, and he was asking me about the barbershops and the bar that I owned with my best mate. And he was like, it's funny you own those, Jacob. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, it's funny because, you've been described as a working class comedian before. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, yeah, we had this girl, a comedian, someone we both know.
Right, don't say their name, but go on.
I wouldn't care. She was apparently in this green room, not quite slagging me off, but saying, how can Jacob Hawley be a working class comedian when he owns 2 barbershops? Right?
Wow. For fundamental misunderstanding of what owning a business means.
I think it's a fundamental misunderstanding of what working class means.
Yeah.
Like nearly all of my mates from home
they all own their own businesses.
Yeah. Whatever. For anyone doubting my working class credentials, here's something that we did when we were younger. We had dogs, right? We had sausage dogs. My parents thought we could make a bit of extra money if we bred the dog.
Right.
Plenty of my Saturday afternoons were spent driving either around Hertfordshire, Bedfordshire, or Kent, where we spent our summers.
Right.
Meeting other strange families who also wanted to monetize their
dogs.
And I'd be sat in a living room whilst a bag was put over a female dog's head, and the owner of a male dog would be leading their dog to hump my dog.
There was 100 dogs in the queue.
Oh my God. They interviewed my dog before and after. My point is, it was fucking bleak that I had to drive around the country whilst my parents tried to monetize the dog. It's fucking bleaker that they're driving around America monetizing their children.
I don't have much else to say on that. I think that's about as sums it up.
So funny what you just. Dog podcasts where my dog's like, my dad's seen my content, and you know what? He thinks good for me. I'd like to fuck 1,000 dogs one day.
2 Dachshunds on the train with 2 Coronas. Flopsy away.
How
did we get there?
Episode been corrupted.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this week. We'll be back next week when we'll be talking to Winona Ryder. But now to play us out with a new track from their debut album, it's the Arctic Monkeys with Fluorescent Adolescent.